Are you ready?
The Batman Book Club, brought to you by Eric Holzman right now. Yeah.
Got our cold open. It's been a while. Been a while.
All it takes is one bad day. You've eaten Gotham's wealth, its spirit, but your feast is nearly over.
This is not my home. It's an operating table. And I'm the surgeon.
Why aren't you laughing? From this moment on, none of you are safe.
Welcome to the Batman Book Club, a podcast exploring the Dark Knight Library. I'm your host, Ryan Lauer. The Batman Book Club is a proud member of the Batman Podcast Network, hosted by Batman on Film. Just go to batmanonfilm.com, click on podcasts, and you'll find the Batman Podcast Network that has a whole list of other Bat-related shows that also like to dive into other nerdy subjects that all of us love to frolic about in our free time. Batman Book Club is also on Patreon, so if you like what's going on with the show and you want to help support the show and keep the generators running in the Wayne Manor study, go to patreon.com/thebatmanbc. Now, thank you for listening to episode 225, Batman in January, the first wrap-up episode of 2025. Oh my gosh. And as you know, I can't do this alone. With me, as always, monthly, he's a regular from Straight Outta Gotham and the Batman and Robin fan club. And has Vula fan club page, Instagram. I don't know. He's everywhere. Peter R. Verra. Hello, Peter.
Hello.
I was
you
trying.
You the dashes in Batman on Film.
Damn it!
Yeah,
got the dashes.
You got to get the dashes in there, otherwise he gets mad. You just got to get the dashes in there.
Got to get it in. Peter's tombstone. Tombstone. Peter R. Verra. Got to get it in.
Got to get it in.
Amen. And let's take a drink to that.
There we go. That's for all the fallen soldiers.
How are things?
Good. Yourself?
Good. Super duper. Excellent.
Super duper. Okay.
Yeah, here we go. There's been a decent fan response, Pete, and the people want to know if you could explain what foo-foo is.
It's anything not Batman that Ryan reads.
Oh, okay.
So,
that's pretty straightforward. Anything not Batman that I read is foo-foo.
Yeah.
Okay. So there you go, people. I mean, the Batman Book Club account always updates on random Batman reads and upcoming episodes and stuff. I don't usually post other things that I read, but Pete gets to hear about everything else that I read. So it was really driving some people crazy. They wanted to know what foo-foo was. So I'm glad.
I'm so glad people are so concerned. Yeah. But I want to drive you crazy.
Pete, there you go. Pete's explanation. Foo-foo. So all this Ninja Turtles comics I'm reading, any book that Ed Brubaker or Sean Phillips is reading, it's foo-foo. What was the one you said? Care Bears versus Godzilla comic.
That's foo-foo. I don't know what the hell you're reading over there. And so that's like, hey, check out Batgirl. And you're like, no, look at this. It's Terminator versus Fraggle Rock. And I'm like, why?
Now, you joke. But you put the right artist on there. That could be a pretty cool comic.
Terminator versus Fraggle Rock. Oh my God.
Oh man, that's a cool
when
idea.
Does Terminator go to public domain?
Yeah, I know, right? I think it's got a while, but I'm looking forward to it. So let's keep the receipts here, Pete, that you launched the idea. So Bears versus Terminator coming 2065.
Yeah.
God. There was plenty of non-foo-foo reading for me this month.
It's been
if that makes it any better.
Yes,
yeah, it has. Let's dive in.
Stuff out there.
Let's dive into all the good stuff with the Batman in January. So, Pete, I can't help but constantly reference a year ago the state we were in when we were talking about the Batman title.
Mm-hmm.
It was not fun.
No,
did not enjoy this.
Nope.
And how far we've come. Batman 156, Chip Zdarsky, art by Tony S. Daniel, stepping in here. The Dying City Part 4. So this is the penultimate issue before Zdarsky's run ends, and that Hush 2 is a coming.
Don't get gaslit, baby.
That's right. But in this issue, so we had, I do believe last month was last month the interrogation room? Yes, last month was the interrogation room, where to me, I said on here and to you that it was a turning point on the whole arc, and it's just kind of taken off since then. And I think that carried over to this issue. I think this issue was fun. I think it was more good stuff, more revealing the whole picture, especially at the end when we find out who this Captain America wannabe really is. And that's a great cliffhanger and tease for next month's issue. I was very happy with this issue.
Yeah, I gotta agree with everything you said there. It's just Batman's Batman again, and it's wonderful to read monthly across the board, universally. The Riddler doesn't have pink hair, so Kowalski will be pissed. This is a knockoff Riddler. Remember that one. But overall, just I dig the story. I love that Gordon's kind of involved. I kind of, it's a little 60s that he gets the belt, but I kind of dig it, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I enjoyed that aspect. And just, the twist at the end, character has a recent history with Batman that's been controversial, and it looks like he's back for more. It just kind of bums me out that Zdarsky seems to just get going, and this is the end here. I feel like he was wasted trying to fit into some company mandate storyline, and I think the title really suffered for it. And then once he didn't have to do that bullshit, he was able to write some pretty interesting Batman. So
I agree.
Kind of a bummer, I get it's like you got the Jorge Jimenez treatment. He's like, yeah, man, you can't get a good story, huh? And they forced that storyline on him, and he did what he could. It wasn't my jam, so
we're finally getting what we were expecting at the beginning.
Yeah.
So I'm sure some people, maybe not, but some people turned away. I think, and I said this last month too, that as long as they stick the landing, I'm going to go back and I'll tell people like, hey, read this arc. Definitely read this arc. And then I do, as always, Daniel's writing or art on this looks great.
Yeah.
He has a really cool, sleek action style. And there's a lot of action in this as well. Like a lot of Batman fighting in that interrogation room, fighting Court of Owls. Zdarsky also that connective tissue when we found out in that revelation last month of the Mad Hatter. We make sure that that's not just deserted. The one thing that I think is really funny is with Nakano's wife and Gordon, it's kind of like, oh yeah, shit, we got to close the book on this. There's one page where it's really like, hey, she's like, stop, no. He's like, oh, sad. And then they move on. Well, I guess also I didn't need any more of that either.
I kind of enjoyed that little through line there. I mean, it's been interesting to kind of watch this Nakano character just come up from cop, jerk of war, through mayor now to this, and now
to death.
And his wife's with Gordo. So it's been kind of interesting ride if you've been reading Batman since the Tynan years. So it's kind of cool to see that follow through. I don't know, just me as a Batman nerd, that kind of stuck out to me. I was like, oh wow, this kind of went full circle. Like this is it.
Yeah.
I watched this entire character's essential life.
that part's I agree with you. That part's cool too. Of there's no loose threads hanging there, and be like, well, what are we going to do with him? We don't see him for 20 issues, then he pops back up and goes away.
I mean, not like the mayor of Gotham needs to pop up. It's cool knowing Hamilton Hill's out there, right? They don't have to kill them all the time.
Yeah, that's true.
Who's the next mayor of Gotham? Is there any character do you want to see come back? Do you want to? I mean, it's an interesting. Now that it seems like they're kind of done with Nakano in general. Who's the it could be
Summer Gleason.
Summer Gleason. I don't know. I was thinking Rupert Thorne. What if Rupert Thorne ran for mayor? Just trying to steal a Lex Luthor president thing. I thought it'd be kind of cool. I don't know.
Where did we last leave with Rupert Thorne? Do you have any idea?
Oh man, I think he died.
He died in Strange Apparitions. Oh no, I'm saying in Batman continuity.
Okay,
but then
continuity. I don't know where he is in main continuity. I remember he popped up recently in something and died. Was it Suicide Squad? I mean, Creature Commandos.
Creature Commandos, yeah.
Yeah. So that was it. But yeah, like I don't know, like Rupert Thorne, Roland Daggett. I don't think we've seen since Rises. I don't think that was
Ooh,
Roland. But I'm just thinking like the mayor of Gotham. You can have fun with if someone comes in here. I know we're getting
that's
Hush too. And I don't know how much of
you know
mayor
who
we're
they
going to
could
get in
get?
that.
Max Shrek. Bring him
I'd be
into
so
comic book
oh,
continuity.
dude.
Make it happen.
Kowalski might start reading again.
Hey, all right.
Yeah, I'm down for that. I'd be totally down with that.
But then maybe he'd have black hair and not white, and then that would piss off Kowalski.
Maybe. Like, who is this Cruella DeVille knockoff?
Yeah. Let's see. That was first Tuesday of the month. So also that day, Pete, you've been a big fan of this, me too. And it took a month off. The Batman Full Moon #3.
Yeah.
Good old Rodney Barnes. And then I always hate having to try and pronounce his name because I know I'm mispronouncing it.
Subic.
Stefan Sujic.
Subic.
Okay. Why don't you go ahead and kick us off on that one? How did you like this issue?
I love this thing, man. I can't wait for this. I really look forward to this coming out in trade and reading this around Halloween time. Like, this is going to be something. How would I call? Oh, we should do this next month for spooky season or next year.
Next month?
If that comes back next year for spooky
We're ahead
season.
of the game next month.
There we go. We'll record it next weekend. It's just it. I mean, look, it's really out there. It gets really kind of. If you've been following like Rodney Barnes' Instagram page, you totally know where he's pulling inspiration from because he's got this like vast knowledge of like old school horror stuff, and
He's a
it's
horror
just,
guy.
It's just a throwback, and it's insane, man. It's man bat, vampires, werewolves, like it's this is Elseworlds. You know what I'm saying? This is Black Label. Like this makes sense to me with that title. So I'm digging it. It's a nice little kind of change of pace, cleanses the palate.
Mhm.
It's different. And I tell you, you read it at the right time of the year, and I think you'd enjoy it even more.
I'm with you. I really dig this. Which is funny too, because it's not like I crave stories where Batman turns into a werewolf or a bat or a monster at all. But
Totally
there's just
not my jam.
something with the story that Barnes has written is it really flows well, and then I think the art is perfectly goes with it.
Mhm.
Yeah, there's just a lot of really good scenes and kind of a just an interesting story, and I'm here for it. And I believe next month is the last issue.
Yeah, there's only four.
It's only 4 issues, and then when I saw online the hardcover is supposed to come out in May. So there you go. Anybody who's holding off on it.
Wait, I'm probably gonna pick up that one.
Yeah, you're gonna double dip
for this one. Yeah, I like this one a lot.
As long as it sticks to the landing. Or are you at this point? You're like, nah, I'm all in.
No, for this one I would because that'd be my reader's copy, so I would read it every Halloween to be my maybe part of my. I'm trying to think. I would read that
and Moon of the Wolf. Nice little double feature there.
There you go. I mean, I like those American werewolf movies. So
yeah, good stuff. I don't know what's next on if they'll try and continue and do some other Batman and monster mashup, but because
I don't know.
Interesting.
You should just follow Rodney Barnes on Instagram. Like it's great. He
absolutely.
Well, no, just in general, like the audience.
Oh, everybody, yeah.
It's he recommends a lot of it. It just take notes. He recommends a lot of really interesting movies.
So I wonder too, and this is something I get fascinated by this stuff because I'm a dork, but like to ask him of how did this come to be? Like, do you just have connections at DC that you got a hold of them and said, I have a story idea? Did they come to you and say, do you have a story idea? Because like, I don't know. I how does that work? And then to present, this is the idea. If anybody like, what? And then it's one that like, no, but it's worked.
I don't know. That's interesting. Who contacts you?
Give me a phone call, Rodney.
That's
Make it happen.
Call Jim.
Let's Zoom. Oh, Jim Lee? Yeah. Hold on. I'll call him real quick. Just hit pause.
Yeah, you got him. He's the Batman book club. What are you talking about? Jim Lee on speed dial.
He's having breakfast. He's having breakfast right now. So we'll hook up after this afternoon.
Get some avocado toast.
Pretty good. Surprisingly.
It's all the rage out there.
Yeah. January 8th, the second Wednesday. I think I said Tuesday again earlier. I'm still stuck on that Tuesday Wednesday, mess up.
Thursday, Friday.
Pete, this is your favorite book of the month. Absolute Batman #4.
Oh man, here we go. Intense
Absolute Batman. Batman AF.
Batman.
I'm so
People
obviously
hate it.
written by written by Scott Snyder.
I
I'm
couldn't tell.
Walter. I'm trying to zoom through to get the artist's name because there's a different artist. Nick Dragata is not on this, and he was on the first 3 issues, but that was because this was, and I think as Snyder even sold it, this was like absolute Batman year one.
Which made sense when you told me that, and I read it.
So it says, the plot, Scott Snyder and Nick Dragata, script, Scott Snyder, artist, Gabriel Hernandez Walta. Yeah, I think of the 4 issues that I've read, this is my least favorite.
Okay, interesting.
I thought it was a little, I don't know, a little eye rolly of vampire Batman at the beginning, and I know I just came from talking about Batman turning into a werewolf, and that worked for me, but here, him like even getting close to biting a dude in the neck, and he has these false teeth, and he's just like, oh man, it's just not working. People don't think I'm a vampire. I don't know. It didn't work for me. And there's some moments that I did enjoy, but I mean, this is yet another story. And I mean, Snyder's already done a Batman year one with his 0 year. And I think every imitation of trying to do a year one,
But this is
version,
Elseworlds.
it's just, it just shows that like, it just stands out of like, you're trying to do a year one and it's just not as good as year one. And that's kind of what this issue
I agree with
felt like
that.
to me.
I agree with
Like
that.
it just kind of, and I don't think it's like it's awful or it's bad even or anything like that. I'm just kind of like meh by the end. Meh.
I'm with you by the end of Meh, but I actually think this is the best of the 4 issues I've read.
Oh, all right.
Mostly because I like the courtroom stuff. I like Bruce versus Chill. I think that's pretty interesting.
Yeah, that
I'm
was a
with you
highlight.
on Vampire Batman. I like it because it makes fun of that stupid costume that Kane and them really came up with. I hate the ears on the cowl of that. I don't like it. I'm not a purple gloves guy. You all know that. So I kind of dig the joke there. I thought it was like he bit him. I was like, oh. And then later on, he's like, I take out the false. He took out the false teeth. I was like,
Yeah.
oh God, like he had. They weren't even like I don't. He has these false teeth. Like what's going on? The stuff with the dad was interesting. I thought it was too on the nose. I still don't like the the hand stilts.
Yeah.
Batman year one makes sense to me. I don't like this like take. I just don't. I'm done. I did kind of like the RC Batman. I thought that was a cool idea. I like
Would you
that.
buy that electronic Batmobile?
Would
Remote
I?
controlled car?
Yeah, I would buy that one.
Oh,
Yeah, sure. If they made that for an RC car, if it was a Spin Master because they make the greatest toys in the world,
that's true.
yes, I would totally do that. Spin Master does a great job with RC cars. Told you guys to buy that tumbler during Christmas time. Hope you did
Mm-hmm.
that. Yeah, but a nice little tribute to Dark Knight there. And essentially what I thought was BVS in a couple of shots. But yeah, I'm with you. It's just meh. I'm like, I'm with you. You can never top year one. Don't even try. Don't waste your time. This is your second attempt. And I'm just, I don't like this version of Batman.
So,
I just
are
don't.
you gonna continue reading
I read
this
this for
show,
you.
or are you gonna? Okay.
I don't. This is the last thing I read every month because I feel like it's always a chore. I
Yeah.
don't. Where is the Hunchback Joker? Curious
It's
what's
funny
going
you
on with
say
that
that. I
guy.
was seriously just thinking that, like flipping through this while we're us talking about it. Like, remember that cool tease of his name was, Joker or whatever, because he doesn't laugh or whatever that.
I don't know.
And it, yeah, hasn't been mentioned since. But okay. So yeah, this in I don't know. Everybody else loves this.
It's very interesting how we seem to usually be on the same page with most Batman stuff,
Mhm.
and it's always weird because like something like this will come out with me and you're like, nope, we're not feeling it. Everyone's like, you guys are crazy.
Yeah, I'm still like hesitant. It's like I lean a little bit more of like enjoyable, but that doesn't mean that I love it by any means.
Yeah, I'm
I
not
definitely
enjoying this
don't
at all.
hate it. It's just I don't know. I'm like, I'm just stuck in the middle of the road with it, which I can only last so long being in the middle of the road of something before I'm like, okay, my time's too precious. I'm not gonna continue. So
There's just so many other better Batman books this month that it's such a
like
it's done. I'm done talking about it.
Batman Dark Patterns #2.
Yeah, Get like, which is just again. I mean, look at some of these panels in this book, and it doesn't get more Batman than this. Like, my God, the first like 4 pages of this book are brilliant. But it's a little freaky. It gets a little far out there, but at its core, it's Batman and Gordon trying to solve a crime. And I don't know if you've been listening to me for the last 2 years, but I love that. But
Yeah.
I don't. Some people
DC
call
got
that
the memo.
Elseworlds. I'm like, I call it Batman. It gets a little sci-fi in there. But it's just this is an enjoyable read to me. It really is. I look forward to seeing where it goes. I'm all in. Like I'm loving it. It's nice. It scratches multiple itches. Like it's very Batman, but it sprinkles a
Mhm.
little bit of the sci-fi element, and I think Waters really juggles it well and blends it in together. And he made a really good smoothie.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Really
really
good
it.
smoothie.
And I'm really impressed. And this is like I look forward to reading this now, 2 issues, and I want to see where it goes.
Dan Waters, writer, Hayden Sherman, artist. I think the art is a big standout because it's a really cool mix of style, I think. And
Mhm.
and obviously there were, it came out of some of the inspirations for the designs of some things, and I think you can see that as well as like
Yeah,
Gotham. And I'm thinking, like you even said, those first couple pages, and like that first one of Gordon and Batman with the bat signal
yeah,
just
like,
looks
it's
freaking awesome. And then
amazing.
that's like the close-up look of like Gordon profile, Batman next to him,
Mhm.
and like all
The
these.
page with the credits with him in between like those pillars of like the
Yeah,
church, that's
that
the
looks
most Batman
awesome.
thing I think I've ever seen.
Yeah, so that all looks great, and then you start to dip into the story, and sure, this villain, which I forget his name right now, what they were calling him, um, that's a different, that's it's really kind of going out there, but I like the challenge that it presents Batman of like he can't just hit him because then
Yeah,
he'll kill him, and he's trying to not kill him, which guess what? That's Batman. Batman's not
it's like I
trying
like it
to
when he has
avoid
to use his
killing.
brain. Yeah,
Yeah. So then like that creates a bit of a challenge on his end, which I don't like. We just don't come across that as much. Um, yeah, and I think the story this doctor dude, like it's illustrated very well where he just seems very untrustworthy and
yeah.
like weird and freaky, and like he's been up for 4 days chugging Red Bulls. Like, he's just a mix of like you can't trust this dude.
Hmm.
I really like, and it's only 2 issues of 12, so we're very much at the beginning of this. But man, the first two issues
I got
completely sold me.
I got to tell you, Sherman loves the oval. It's
Yeah,
very
it's
prominent throughout this
everywhere,
book.
prominent.
I love how it shines in the shadows. It really is just wonderful to see. The
Well,
oval's
like
kind of been, it's been getting put aside a little bit. It had a nice little run there for a few years ago.
yeah,
But this book is, I mean, you had me at oval, but
yeah.
I'm really enjoying
Well, and like
it.
the glow from the panel with the bat signal that I just mentioned, there's like a coloring with like a glow
Mhm.
for the signal as well that looks really good. Me, it's like I loved the yellow oval. I love just the symbol, and I think we're getting a mix of it in
Yeah, it's
in
nice.
comics, and I'm like, awesome.
I'm all
I
for
don't, I don't,
balance. I'm all
yeah,
for
I don't
balance.
need it all one or the other. So, yeah, this is Dark Patterns, great book.
Also, like Batman in front of blinds totally works.
Yeah,
I was like, man, I don't know about you, but I was getting like Tim Sale vibes. Like it's got that kind
Tim
of
Sale, my
noirish,
man.
Like there's a
Yeah.
lot of there's you mentioned like they're talking about their inspirations. It's clearly that's one of them.
Yeah,
Like it's
Sale was definitely one of them. Long Halloween
oh,
was one of them.
this
Love
book
it.
is great.
Good stuff. Only 2 issues in, so it's not a ton of work to catch up.
No,
Totally worth it. Also coming out that Tuesday, Batman and Robin number 17. Bump,
yeah,
bump,
um,
bump. Philip Kennedy Johnson, the writer, and Javi Fernandez is the artist. This was uh I've let's see, 3 issues? 4. Johnson, did he start on 14? I think he did.
I
14.
think so.
So this
It's
is
been a
number
while.
4.
It's been a while.
It's been a while. This is a cool story. I'm digging it. I'm digging the flashbacks as well. Yeah, I don't and I the drama he's bringing between Bruce and Damien is not eye rolling to me.
No, there's
So
conflict there.
I enjoy this because it's Yeah,
It's almost
adding
reminiscent of
conflict.
like what Morrison was doing early on, right? There was always some sort of tension there.
Yeah.
It seems like that's back.
Hmm.
You know,
I dig it.
I enjoy, I love Batman and Robin. Like I love the pairing of the two. So like having them together is always enjoyable for me, regardless of the Robin. Especially now since Damien's kind of taking a turn for the better. But yeah, like it's very action heavy, but like Kennedy does a good job. Kennedy Johnson
Yeah.
does a good job at pulling at the right strings. The artwork's beautiful, lots of beautiful splash pages, panels. Like it's got a very interesting orange like tint to it. It's very amber. The
Yeah.
book just feels very amber, and obviously there's like, things exploding and yada yada yada. But this is a new villain that's kind of cool. Like
Hmm.
we're seeing an influx of villains recently, and they're not recycling guys. To be honest with you, they're kind of a lot of these writers. Kenny Johnson, we just had Dan Waters in the previous segment. Like
Hmm.
these guys are creating villains that are pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like, and they do so in detective as well. So. I like what's going on here. I'm really impressed. Like, I can't tell you how great it feels to read Batman after what was the last 2.5 years. I mean, wow,
Yeah.
this is I mean, I'm take all here, I'll let you guys just get my direct deposit. Like good God Almighty, like you guys are listening. It's been great. I really appreciate it.
Like, did they give him a name yet? Was it Memento, or am I just making that up?
Which one?
Just
Batman
the
and
villain
Robin?
for this one. Yeah.
I forget, to be honest with you.
So his aesthetic just kind of keeps making me think of Detective Comics, like the arc in 618. And I'm
Hmm.
trying to pull up the name. Obia Man.
Okay.
It I don't know, something with his aesthetic is really making me think of him. Google it. Detective Comics 618, Norm Brayfogle. My man.
Nice.
Something about
Great cape.
that, it makes me, I don't know, makes me think of
All
him.
right.
But yeah,
Time
I'm
to hit
in
the
on
back
this.
issues.
Yep. I'm into this though. I dig this. I'm really glad Johnson's on this book so far. It's like he's 4 for 4 for me on this
Hmm.
book. And Williamson, I didn't think he was bad by any means. He just had some, it
He was a
was,
little
oh,
more
this one's good,
lovey-dovey.
and not this
Little,
one.
little
Yeah,
lovey-dovey.
too lovey dovey for me. I don't need that much in my soap
Lauer's
opera
like, I
comics.
get lovey-dovey on Valentine's Day only.
That's
That's
right.
it.
Yeah, that's the softer
And
side
that's
of
for
me.
one reason only.
And what's that reason?
Get it in.
Refer to Pete's tombstone.
Get it in.
Let's see. Moving on to the next week. Batman, Superman, World's Finest, number 35. Good old Mark Wade.
Hmm. Now,
And then a
Lauer,
new artist. Yeah.
Lauer,
Holzman's in this
this
one.
Holzman, good old Holzman. Shout out to the Batman Foot Club. Um, have you've been like me? We kind of like recently on World's Finest, right? Like it's kind of been like,
We knew we were in it, that it
uh,
was in its slump, because
yeah.
Wade is up and down with World's Finest. He
Hmm.
can be like, where we don't say like, oh, this is just terrible, but
Yeah.
we're like, eh. And then he'll turn around and he's like, whoa, this one's good.
Okay. So leading up to this one,
Yeah.
Batman, Superman, Atlantis.
Yeah.
What were you thinking? Were you kind of nervous? You're like, I don't know. Were
Not
you
nervous.
cautiously optimistic?
Intrigued, because I knew it was a new arc. So when it's a
Hmm.
new arc, and
Hmm.
we've come off definitely two, maybe three issues that we've been like about a new arc, and I'm like, okay, cool, let's see what he's got. Adrian Gutierrez is the artist on this. I'm like, okay, they're going to Atlantis.
Hmm.
So I was like, oh, I'm excited. I was very much tempered expectations. Like, all right, let's see what they're gonna do.
I got to tell you, I felt exactly the same way. And I can't tell you how happy I am I bought this book because I thought it was so much fun.
Utah, give me two.
Oh man, it was like it's kind of like a 60s book, like it just it's like if you ever listen to like the Batman on Film podcast and you hear Bill go on one of his rants where he's like, back in the day, DC was just not connected at all. The stories just happened. That's what this feels like. No, it does. It feels like this was made back in the day.
Mhm.
It's just, which is essentially just modern art, modern storytelling. And I kind of dig it. Like it's, this crazy Atlantean virus, and then there's Batman and Robin and Scooby here. Let's be honest. I would probably rip apart if they were making this movie, but like in print, it like works so well that I have fun with it. And I just enjoy it, and like I'm sitting there like, man, this world's finest in a nutshell. Like last, what was it? They did Eclipso, I think it was, or something. I can't
Yeah.
remember.
Ugh.
And I was like,
I
not
did
my
not like
jam,
that
blah
one.
blah. And then he comes around with this, again, Batman in scuba gear. I'm like, this is a blast.
Yeah.
So I had a lot of fun with this. I can't wait to see where it goes.
Yellow
But
oval.
I appreciate, yeah. I mean, again, it looks fantastic. There, I like a good Aquaman tale.
Hmm.
Aquaman, and there's a new Aquaman out there. For those of you who are wondering, Jeremy Adams is writing. It's fantastic. Please pick it up. Um, Shout out, just to discuss some foo-foo. That's Peter Foo-foo. Aquaman is Peter Foo-foo. But yeah, no, I dug this, man. I think this is a book for everyone, to be honest with you. Like Batman, you can get into it if you like Aquaman. I think it's a perfect balance of everything. I'm very interested to see the response to it because I loved it.
I'm with you on everything. And so we've already talked about, the Batman issue, Batman 156 this month. We've also talked Batman Full Moon. I mean, technically, Absolute Batman. And then coming up, Detective Comics. And then this month, Last Halloween is off, comes back next month. But we're in the midst of that series. All like, or no, disregard that one, Last Halloween. But the other ones, it's like that's solo Batman. And then you have Batman and Robin, that series. Then you have Batman and Robin Year One that we're going to talk about next. And then you have Last Halloween where it is Batman and Robin. So it's like we've got a variety to where, okay, this is Batman and Superman. And then he's dipping into other,
Mhm.
members of the DC universe that I'm like, okay, that's fine because I've got my preference. I'm getting that in other spots each month. So if this was the only Batman comic coming out each month, I'd probably be like a little more like, I want solo Batman. This is like, I don't know, this is just fun. And I think it's like a good, intriguing little mystery.
Mhm.
Um, and I like how it's kind of like World's Finest is almost become like the Brave and the Bold, except it's World's Finest Brave and the Bold. So it's taking those two, and
Yeah.
then who's the other DC character of this issue or this arc, and this one it's Aquaman. Sweet, we're going to Atlantis. We're going to see what's going on in Atlantis. And I think that it didn't take like too much. You got to know this, you got to know that. So you could not know anything and just dive into this issue, and you're caught up.
Yeah, I
And
agree.
I'm fine with that. I'm completely fine with that. I don't want a ton of homework to dip into something that's not like my full on preference, But I thought this issue was just, I don't know. I thought it was really good. That was fun. I don't know how many issues that this arc's going to be. 20,000 Leagues, just as 20,000 Leagues part one.
I would assume three. Three is
Yeah,
short.
3 to 5, somewhere between there, which
Yeah,
is
he
what
could do
Wade's
either
been
one.
doing, and that's worked out completely well. So great new starting point for anybody who hasn't kept up with this. I highly recommended from Pete and I.
It's so much
Do
fun.
it.
It's so much fun.
I just mentioned it. Also,
Oopsies.
there's no Uxas. Spoiler alert. But maybe he's coming.
No,
Maybe he's coming. Maybe Uxas is coming. And maybe Galactus even further down the road.
Oh, I would miss Galactus. Oh,
There's some
Galactus.
Marvel foo-foo.
That's Marvel foo.
All right, Batman and Robin, Year One, number 4. Hey, we were just talking about good old Mark Waid.
Yeah, he's back.
Whoo! Chris
I
Samney on the art. Go ahead.
I love the art, man. I love
Mm.
the art. I don't know what it is. It's very simple, but yet it's very detailed.
Yeah,
It also
it's a
feels
good
very,
classic noirish
yeah.
vibe.
I love this, like checking up on Dick Grayson stuff. Like that stuff's cool to me.
Yeah.
He's like, what? He's like, get undressed. You got to look untied. He's like, what are you talking about? I just woke up. I just love the confusion that she brings to Wayne Manor.
I mean, it's because it's like not that I'm looking for, give me the comic of that, but off the top of my head, I can't remember where that was like an important part of
Mhm.
a story with the two. And that's a very understandable, plot line of like you'd
and
have somebody checking in, child
and you get
services would
some
be checking
magic.
in.
You get some really magical, just like yuppie rich Bruce Wayne
Mm-hmm.
playing it up moments, like which we don't get enough of, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
We don't get enough of that kind of facade Bruce Wayne, the socialite behind the scenes. And then there's the mafia aspect. I love the feel of the book. It's again, there's this one has like a yellow tint to it, right?
Yeah.
It's almost
And
like
more of
yellow.
Batman in blinds.
Yeah, so I mean, it's working, man. It just I don't know. This is just a fun throwback story. I love it. You know me. We get 3 good Batman and Robin issues this month. I'm just happy to picking shit.
That's pretty damn happy for all of you who don't know. Okay. Translation. Yeah, this is, I don't know. Like I think, well, I have to read because I write a review on Batman on Film for the Batman title. So that's usually the first one each month that I read so I can write my review. But then this becomes the next one that I look forward to and that I grab and I read. I feel like it's in the style and tone of the animated series, which I may have mentioned before. It's not the animated series, but as far as like the tone, it's not too kiddish, but it's not too adult and mature. It's like a sweet spot right in the middle. And the vibe of it all, the like we just said, the art looks great. I think the story is interesting and it doesn't feel like a retread of what we've read time and time again. I really, yeah. So this is 12 issues long. This is issue 4, so we're a third of the way through, and I think
Love it.
this is just excellent.
Excellent,
Big fan.
Big fan.
Excelente, indeed.
Excelente.
Moving-
Lauer.
Ryan Lauer es muy excelente.
Yes, muy bien. That's
The
the extent
following-
of my Spanish.
Okay. Caca is mine. And then lo siento. 2 very important words. Shit and I'm sorry. Caca, lo siento. Moving on. Let's see. The next week, Detective Comics 1093. This is Pete's book.
This is fun, man. You got this new kind of mass serial killer in Gotham. You get a great mix of sidekicks. I love seeing that. Everyone knows that. Batman solving this mass, like, kind of a murder of teenagers is very fascinating. It's just a good crime story. The teamwork's cool. It was a little weird seeing Batman hit on his chick, or Bruce Wayne hit on his girl while he was on a gargoyle. I didn't dig that part. I thought that was a little weird. But Tom Taylor's not perfect, right? So, but there's not a little lovey-dovey other stuff. So I was down for it. A lot of misconception, a lot of deception. Sorry, I said the wrong word there. A lot of deception with the Penguin. I don't know where that came from. I enjoyed this new villain. I thought she got the upper hand on Batman, which was interesting. And just kind of we're kind of got to see where it goes here. I don't know what's going on at the end there, but it's a nice little tease. So I guess it'll be explained to us later on. But we'll see what happens. I enjoy the mystery. I enjoy the suspense. So there you go.
Yeah, I dig it completely. Tom Taylor, Mikhail Yanin. Yeah, it's an interesting story, and I think brings something. It's not a rehash of what we've seen before, but it's not like it's if directly something nobody's ever thought of before. But it presents some interesting challenges for Batman and Bruce. I think that this payoff. Not this payoff. I think we're going to see more of this Evelyn, because her Joe Chill's baby mama. I think we'll see more of her. I think that's interesting at how the book opens with her, and then obviously with the daughter Scarlett Martha Scott. And I think,
I guess so when you put it like that, it's in a different context. I just thought it was funky.
I think I may have said last month or the month before that I think we're supposed to be like led to believe that this villain is the purple-haired friend that Bruce hooked up with. Which is Evelyn. No, not Evelyn. What did I just say? Scarlett?
I don't know. Now you're just throwing out names.
Yeah, now I'm just saying names. Scarlett.
Broad.
Okay, Scarlett. But I thought this villain was supposed to be her. Maybe I'm just an idiot, but now that doctor friend of hers, I think, is who they are teasing at the end is the villain. We'll see. We'll see how that plays out. Of course, when secret identity of Batman, someone finds out, that means that their days are numbered, usually. So they're going to die somehow, but we'll just see. We'll see if the word spreads before she gets that out.
Yeah, I like
Um,
I like it. It's a fun little mystery.
mhm. Anyways, though, yeah, quality book. This too has come a very long way since Detective Comics last year or last January. So don't
That's
need to keep
horrible.
bringing that up every month. I'm just very happy on
No,
the
we
recovery.
will. They made us read it, and then we can
Yeah,
remind
that's
them.
true. Let's see, and that'll do the following. Let's see, the following week. So this was a month that had 5 Wednesdays. Nothing new came out. It was just the Long Halloween, the last Halloween Noir Edition #1. I had no idea this was coming. I have no idea if there's going to be every single issue is going to come out in Noir Edition. DC is starting to do a lot of Noir Edition single issues for books that are out. I think they're doing them for all the absolute, Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman. Did it for the Gargoyle of Gotham. So maybe this is going to become a new pattern, which means that, like, I don't know, it must be selling well if they're going to keep doing it. And that's it. That does it for the new books. So then that means it's got to go to Pete's favorite time of the month.
Oh, Lauer hates female characters.
Ooh, no. And got you on this one because one of these books includes a female character that you like to claim that I don't like. What up?
Uh-oh.
Okay. Anyways, let's get to that in a moment. First up, Two-Face, #2. New series that launched last month with Christian Ward and trying to open up on the art. You and I had fun with this issue last month. A continuation of that. I think that was fun this month as well.
Fabio
Sometimes
Reyes.
Fabio Perez, thank you. The mind prison. I get a little it takes me a little longer to read the mind prison aspects of the issue to make it connect and be like, okay, this is what it is, because I'm just like a very literal person. But I do like the fact of internally Two-Face is still there. He's just pushed down by Harvey. And then I like what's going on the outside with Harvey and how this is just like another Perry Mason in Gotham of a
Yeah,
lawyer Dent taking on some
I
people. And this time the Royal
I love
Flush
this.
Gang, that's cool. I like bringing in the White Rabbit.
Mhm. Oh, she's
All that.
great.
It was a fun issue.
I loved it from the get-go. I love the mind games. I love being inside Two-Face's brain. That's fun for me always. I dig this whole Harvey Dent crusade type deal. But I love seeing Two-Face almost whole face
Whole
inside his
face.
mind, right? And he's
Mm-hmm.
sitting there and he's talking to what the hell is his name? Oh, now I forgot your name. What's his name? Lauer.
Midnight Man.
No, in the here, who this dude?
Oh,
Uh,
Maroni.
yes, thank you. Sorry, brain fart. Maroney. I love the conflict with Maroney as, like I said, whole face.
Whole face.
Because he's basically one big scab.
DC
I thought that
announces
was
a
really
new villain. Whole
whole
face.
face. The internal brain of Two-Face known as whole face. That stuff's really cool for me. I dig it. And then, just it's cool seeing Two-Face drinking bourbon. Like, I love that. That's
Mhm.
awesome too. But yeah, no, this is just a cool little like mind F.
Yep.
This is Two-Face. Mind fuck.
Whole face, Two-Face, mind
Whole
F
face AF.
Yes, there you go. Next one on Batman and Friends, Nightwing #122.
Mhm.
Welcome to Cirque du Sin. Bum bum bum.
Bum, bum, bum.
Another book by Dan Waters. This one illustrated by Dexter Soy. This is On with the Show, Part 4, Little Circus Boy. Pete, I loved this issue. Loved it. I thought the art was freaking fantastic, especially the
Mhm.
flashback scene.
Yeah, no, that was great. And it's like I was just saying, like, this and Dark Patterns are very similar. I'm like, oh,
Mhm.
well, obviously
Especially the
Dan
yellow
Waters,
oval
but
too.
oval, but just like the tone, it's kind of got
Mhm.
that sci-fi element, with this kind of, I don't know, this reptile villain. I'm not even sure what the hell he is. But like it's got that really weird kind of science fiction comic book stuff to it, but it really works. The flashback stuff's definitely the best. I mean, just Robin looks great. Nightwing looks great. Batman looks like he's actually wearing boxer briefs as opposed to the traditional briefs in this one.
Sure.
I think that's cool. But yeah, no, I like Nightwing. I think it's a really fun book. It's different than Tom Taylor's. It's cool. I think
Yeah.
it's just as good, but I just think it's like a different flavor.
Yeah. Just as good, a little bit darker, which
Yeah.
I'm usually on board with.
A little more
because it's
sci-fi.
not forcibly darker, like they're trying too hard or anything. It's just very, I don't know, very smooth. Waters really has his thumb on the pulse of Gotham right now, I think.
Which is crazy because his backup stories in Detective were just as bad as the primaries.
You were not a fan.
No,
I
I was nervous.
the very little bit that I read of the backups, I wasn't a fan, which led to me not reading the backups.
Yeah.
So, and then lastly, DC presents, DC Horror presents number 4. I'm trying to find it here. Did you read this one by chance? No. Okay. These DC Horror presents have 2 stories in each issue. The first one here was about Catwoman. So look at that. Now, how the turntables. Pete all of a sudden hates Catwoman. And I don't understand why.
But I actually read Catwoman.
So this Catwoman story, the writers, Patton Oswalt and Jordan Blum. Artist, Danny Earls. This is really fun and cool because Catwoman steals a diamond and the diamond is cursed. What happens because of that diamond is a really fun, like 6 pages, 7 pages, and bringing in the characters and taking some credits, and then like taking credit for some like the villains in Batman, how the person tricked Selena into taking the diamond totally works and is really fun. Who the big capper and the nice fun horror plot twist at the end of this story is really fun. And this is a very this is a breeze of a read, maybe 10 minutes, maybe.
Okay.
Highly recommend people check this one out because it was a lot of fun. And that does it for Batman and Friends for me. So take it away, Peter.
Okay, well, Catwoman 72, I read.
So look at you.
Shove it up your
Catwoman.
And this is fun. Like, this is great. Catwoman on a heist, foreign country, stealing stuff. Chaos ensues, wigs, dresses, just on the run. Really dig that stuff. Poison Ivy 29 just continues on with G. Willow Wilson's run.
Redheads, gotta love them.
Too bad you don't read it because you hate women. But Poison Ivy on the becoming this kind of like cult figure that she didn't ask for, and then she's got to go fight the Green, which is always interesting, and that's really interesting. I love that stuff. Batgirl number 3, Batgirl Shiva, probably the best action in any comic book this month. That train scene was intense. Check that stuff out.
Who's the team on that one?
This is there's a couple people I never heard of. Let me get to the credits here. Filling Dead Air, Lauer. Wonderful.
Yeah. Peter.
Oopsies.
Comics.
Oopsies.
Dark Side and Oopsies are the same people. But I'm
right. Woo-woo. Let's see. Okay. Let's see. Artist. It just says cover. Here we go. Oh geez. Tashiki Mazawaya is the artist. I'm sorry. And Tate Bromble is the writer. So I apologize for butchering.
That was not fishing to get you to have to pronounce names.
Your book is absolutely fantastic. 3 issues in. The cover is also amazing. If you like framing covers, this one is a high recommendation.
Yeah, looks good.
As is World's Finest and Batman and Robin Year One. Those are probably the best 3 covers of the month.
Yeah. So Pete, we're gonna rewind a little bit because I had my big brain fart when I skipped over a comic.
I saw that. I was waiting for you to realize that.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Good. I know that if I was starting to wrap up, you'd probably be like, "Hey, no." Little Batman number 3.
Mm-hmm.
How dare I skip this gem of a book?
Yeah.
How dare I?
You probably didn't like the animation style. That probably drove you over the edge.
Oh no, that's me because I give things a shot. Morgan Evans, the writer, and I've said the past 2 months, he was the one that wrote Merry Little Batman. John Michael is artist. Everything that I said last month, everything I said the month before, I like rinse, repeat. Love this book. It is a blast. It is so much fun. It doesn't contradict anything of the movie. Yeah, it doesn't contradict anything of the movie. It fits as an extension of the movie, which is what was promised and which is what it should be doing. It's just fun, absolutely fun. And I think extending this world in a way that doesn't feel forced or like it doesn't mesh. It's a great extension of it, which is exactly what this needs to be. And there's supposed to only be 4 issues. So next month's supposed to be the last issue of this. And I like this too. Don't make it an ongoing where we're going to get burnt out. It was, a year after the movie came out, a 4-issue comic series. And then I don't know where it goes next, but I know there were rumors of it, having a follow-up, either, TV series or even another movie or something like that. After the movie dropped on Prime last year or the year before, whatever, Christmas of 23. But this is fun. I like this a lot.
It's a gem. It just is. It's an enjoyable read. It makes you laugh. It's almost similar to Batman and Robin Year One with Dick Grayson in a way. But there's a similar kind of pattern there with the evil babysitter, as I like to call her. But it's just a bright spot. Like just you're like, oh man, I can't wait to read this. Like it's just enjoyable. I don't know. But it's out there. Like I would call this Elseworlds.
Oh boy.
Well, bearded Batman with a kid.
That's quite a word. That's quite a word being thrown around these days.
It's the word of the month, man.
Yeah. Word of the month. Elseworlds.
Elseworlds. Everything's Elseworlds. It's Elseworlds. It's all Elseworlds, man.
All right. Time for me to ask you something.
Yes, you've got a question?
What was your favorite comic of the month?
Oh man, which one was my favorite?
You got it. I believe in you.
I'm gonna go with World's Finest 35.
Ooh.
I just had fun. I enjoyed it. It was great.
That'd be probably my biggest surprise, to be honest.
Okay.
I'm torn between two. I'm going to go. Damn. Batman and Robin Year One, number 4.
That's a key.
I think the past 4 months it's been Last Halloween or this series, but it's because they've both been so solid. But I mean, Dark Patterns issue number 2 is just as just as good as 1. So
I mean, there's a lot of great books to pick this month.
Yeah, absolutely. That does it. That does it for
That's
these.
it.
Oh my goodness.
That's it. Wow. Another one down.
Another one bites the dust, Peter.
Another one bites the dust.
Yep. So we got another.
Yeah. Another one bites the dust. And another one done. Aunt Trudy bites dust.
Woo! Hey-o. Heard you about something else. Hey, the
old Wiener Schnitzel.
Yep. Long Island. There he is.
Went to the Netherlands.
Pete, thanks for doing the work again this month.
Yeah, man.
Always a good time reading comics, and then we actually talk about the only one I get to really talk to him about, because my Mira is not like, tell me about what you read.
She's like, oh my god, Laura, you read comic books? Make love to me.
So why don't you go ahead and tell people where they can find you and what you're up to?
Socially, you can find me on X, Pete Illustrated. You can listen to my podcast, Straight to Gotham with Eric Holzman. You can check us out at straight_O_G on X as well. I'm all over batmanonfilm.com, and every once in a while I'll do a social hour and we'll try to argue with Bill a little bit. And right now we're arguing about Elseworlds. I'm arguing with Kowalski about toys.
You're arguing with Kowalski about everything.
Well, he's insane. I try not to argue about the Yankees on Twitter because those guys are absolutely insane. They make Kowalski look normal. Those guys are nuts. But I read everything, and this is just ridiculous. But what was I going to say? Michigan's not in the Michigan. Win. Ohio State won, right?
Yeah.
I don't know who won. Was it Georgia? Who won the national championship game?
No, Ohio State did. So they got national championship.
That's your nemesis, right?
They didn't win a conference. They weren't undefeated, and they did lose to a 7-5 Michigan team. But yeah, that's
cool. They did.
And they did
at least they didn't cheat, and the coach went to the NFL.
Yeah,
but who are you rooting for in the Super Bowl?
Who am I rooting for? I'm rooting for the Eagles.
Yeah, right. Like piss off the Giant fans.
Yeah, that's my motivation.
That's my motivation.
Well,
it was a win-win for me in the NFC Championship game. Either way, I was going to make fun of Giant fans, and
it's one of the reasons Pete lives.
Yes,
make fun of Giants fans.
Well, it's a very ignorant fan base. It's just Clearly, they don't play in New York, and you guys don't want to believe it. So
That's true. As for me, so follow the Batman Book Club on the social media stuff at the Batman BC for latest episode drops and upcoming episodes. There are going to be some fun upcoming episodes in these next few months.
Any
Also,
oopses?
you will definitely want to follow the social medias because there's definitely giveaways are coming.
Ooh.
It's happening. It's
Any
happening, Peter.
Uxas giveaways?
There's no Uxas giveaways.
What? There's Uxas in Batman, like Final Crisis, or
There is, but there's just no Uxas and Batman giveaways. Not coming, but there are giveaways coming. Also, what's coming? I promise you.
Why do you hate
Uxas? Pete and I are going to No Man's Land. It's happening.
Well, I've been in No Man's Land. You're busy foo-fooing it out there in Fraggle Rock.
Pete knows that I have a new computer, and part of that motivation is so that Pete and I can go to No Man's Land. So,
well, it's actually because Ryan still downloads on LimeWire, and the latest Gianna Michaels video is actually a virus.
Do not look up that name. Anyways, if you want to support the show, a variety of ways you can do it. Patreon.com/thebatmanbc, tpublic.com, type in TBBC for the Batman Book Club. Also, I was going to say, make sure to subscribe to the Batman Book Club YouTube channel where those No Man's Land episodes will be dropping. Pete and I already did Road to No Man's Land on there. Catch up on that, as well as some good video episodes with Tom King, Kelly Jones, Lee Bermejo. Check those out. And Sean Murphy. But if you want to support the show, variety of ways you can do it. I already said that. But if you don't want to spend any money, that's 100% A-okay. Easiest, quickest, most impactful thing you can do is rate and review the show. So however you listen to it on podcasts, whether it's Apple, Spotify, Amazon, wherever, go to the rate and review page and rate and review the show, because the more reviews the show gets, the more it helps spread the word. And as we all know, that word is panic.
Galactus.
Okay. So for Peter R. Verra, I am Ryan Lauer. And until next time, remember, guys.